Hello there, Wipper here, and welcome back to another mod showcase, and if we could possibly get 300 likes, that would be awesome. But anyway, today I'm going to be showing you an awesome mod called the Crafting Pillars mod, which adds an assortment of different kinds of pillar into Minecraft, which can actually be used for a variety of different things. I did actually showcase this mod a while ago, but back then, the only kind of pillar in the mod was the Crafting Pillar, so yeah, since then there's actually been a ton more different kinds of pillars added. So if you watched that mod showcase ages ago, don't worry, this is completely different. There's tons more items to actually explore. But the first item I'm going to be showing you is something called a base pillar, and this is required for the rest of the crafting pillar recipes. So yeah, and you can also place this down. It's a lovely aesthetic item, so if you're making any Greek style buildings, this would be brilliant. You could just use these, and you can actually just place them down on top of each other, and then they'll connect up automatically and look like a pillar. I mean, how awesome do those look? And it also works horizontally as well as vertically. And to actually craft one of these, let me just go to creative so I can actually see this. You're going to need 7 stone arranged in an eye kind of fashion. So the first kind of pillar is of course the crafting pillar, and this is used to craft items just like a crafting table would be, and pretty much all this is a 3D version of a crafting table, where it's more intuitive to use and it looks a lot cooler, and it actually feels like you're actually crafting something instead of just putting things into a GUI. So to actually craft a crafting pillar, you're going to need a crafting table and a base pillar, so a relatively simple crafting recipe. All you're going to need is some wood and some stone, not too hard to do at all. But anyway, let's just go up to this crafting pillar so I can show you how it works. So to actually place down items on it, you just look at the square in the 3x3 grid here that you actually want to place an item on. Make sure your crosshair is actually over that square, and then just right click with the item that you want to place down in your hand, and you place down the item. And you can also place multiple items on the same squares. You just right click again, and then you get a little number that shows up showing how many items are actually on that specific square. So I'm going to make 2 diamond pickaxes, because why not? We all like diamond pickaxes. So I'm going to place down 2 diamonds on each of these squares, and then to actually retrieve the item that you've just crafted, you just left click like so. So I'm going to retrieve my 2 pickaxes just by left clicking twice, or if you want to retrieve all the items at once, you just press shift and then left click, and then you'll get all the items that you could possibly craft based on how many items you've placed down on the grid. Now there are some other controls, so say I want to remove just one of these items on this middle square here and leave the rest still on there. All I need to do is shift and right click, and I retrieve just that item, and then the other items stay on the crafting grid. And if you want to retrieve all the items back, I think the only way to do it is just right click on all the individual squares and then get them back, if that makes any sense. Or you could just break the crafting pillar. But yeah, that's the crafting pillar item. Relatively simple to use and a lot more fun to use than a normal crafting table would be. But next up we have the Smelting Pillar, and this is just basically a 3D version of a furnace without any GUI. And to actually craft a Smelting Pillar, all you're going to need is an original furnace and then the base pillar. So again, a very simple crafting recipe. You just need some cobble and some normal stone for this. Anyway, once you've actually crafted this, you can place it down, and you can see it just looks like this. All you need to do to use it is place down the fuel in the bottom area of the actual smelting pillar. So I can place it down here. So you can use coal, lava, saplings, whatever you want to use as a fuel on the bottom there, and then you put the thing that you want to smelt, whether it be an ore or the food, on the top. So you can see I've placed down some pork here, and it's going to slowly cook the pork, and then it will eventually stop, and once it stops, that means it's ready to be eaten. So I can just left click here, and I've retrieved my cooked pork chop. And I can also do it with ores, so you can see I've put the ore in here, and now I've got an iron ingot that's slowly rising up, and as soon as it stops, that means it's finished smelting. And it takes exactly the same time as it would in a normal furnace. All it is a 3D representation of it, which I really love. So the next kind of pillar is the showcase pillar, and to craft a showcase pillar you're going to need an item frame and a base pillar, and all this does is it showcases your item in a similar fashion to what it looks like when you drop an item on the ground, like so. It just spins around, and that's what this showcase pillar basically does. It's just a dropped item that never despawns. But anyway, to use this you just right click on top of the showcase pillar with whatever item you want to actually showcase, like this sword here, and it starts spinning around. I think it actually makes it a little bit bigger than dropped items would look like, so yeah, and then you can just retrieve it just by pressing shift and then right clicking like so. And you can place down a block of emerald if you really want to showcase a block of emerald. Or in fact you could even place down a door. Yeah, let's place down a door. That's awesome. Okay, let's retrieve the item and then place down a door on there, and look at that, we've presented this holy door that's so amazing, and we just want to showcase it to the whole world. Actually no, it's just a door, but yeah, let's just retrieve that, and that's how you use this showcase pillar. So the next kind of pillar that this mod adds is the Brewing Pillar, and to actually craft a Brewing Pillar you're going to need a brewing stand and a normal base pillar. And then once you've placed it down, you're going to see that it has these little 4 kind of rods that stick out in the actual body of the actual Brewing Pillar, and then you can actually place down water bottles in these little stands that pop out. So I can place down these 3 water bottles on these little stands. I don't think it matters how many you put in here. You can have 1, 2 or 3, it still works. And then to actually create a potion, you just get the ingredient for the potion and place it on top of the brewing pillar, like so. And then you can see we've got 3 of those little nether warts that are slowly going to be making their way down into these water bottles. And then once they actually reach the water bottles, the potion will have been made. So now we've got to try and kill time while we're waiting for these to slowly descend into these glass bottles. Oh, and they've somehow managed to get past the bung on the top of the bottle there. Don't know how they did that, but now you can see we've got some potions, and these are awkward potions. And if I then put some blaze powder on top, we should be making some strength potions, I'm presuming, and that just shows how this works. And then to actually retrieve the potions after they've been made, you just shift and right click again, so nothing too special. So let's just wait for this to descend in and see if it actually works. And yeah, let's see what happens. There we go, we've got some potions of strength. And to actually retrieve them, yep, you just shift and right click like so, individually on all the potions of strength, and then you retrieve them. And that's how this brewing pillar works. So the next kind of pillar in this mod is probably my favourite in the whole entire mod, because it just makes like a record player kind of thing, and it's a replacement for the jukebox. So yeah, it just looks so cool. You can put your discs on the actual record player, and it just spins them around like old vinyls would. It's just so cool. Anyway, to actually craft one of these Juke pillars, you're going to need a jukebox and a bass pillar, and then all you need to do to use it is hold the music disc in your hand, right click on the top of the pillar, and then it starts playing the song. So here we go. I don't know what the Elysium theme is. It's just a custom music disc that's added by one of these mods I'm using. I think it was actually the crafting pillar mod that adds this disc. I don't know what it is, but yeah, look at it. How cool is that? It just spins around. It's a shame we haven't got the little arm that comes over and actually goes on top of the disc, but you know, it's cool enough. Just spins around and plays the music. Let's just retrieve that. Try another one. Let's use this one. There you go. And I can't actually hear that, it's too quiet, but yeah. So you can see how that one works. You just place down music discs on it, and it plays them, and shows them revolving around on top of the pillar itself. How cool is that? I love that one. So the next kind of pillar in this mod is a completely unique item. It doesn't replace an item that's already in Minecraft, and it is of course the freezer pillar. And what it does is it converts water into ice, or basically just freezes whatever item you put in the base of the pillar and then outputs it at the top. So in this case I'm going to show you an example with water. So I just right click with water in the base of the pillar, and it should slowly freeze the water, and there we go, we've got an ice block that's slowly raising up, and it says water 1,000 units. So I'm presuming 1 bucket of water is 1,000 units of water, and then it freezes it into a lovely ice block. And then to retrieve this ice block, you just left click like so. We get some lovely love hearts that come out, and then we've got a lovely ice block. And it's a really cool way of getting ice instead of the usual way of trying to enchant things over and over again until you get silk touch, and then you go and try and find ice and then mine it that way. This is much simpler. But yeah, to actually craft one of these freezer pillars, it's a little bit more complicated than the rest of the pillar crafting recipes. You're going to need 6 snow, 2 glass panes, and a base pillar in the center, and then you craft that freezer pillar. So a really unique, cool item. That was a terrible pun, but yeah, that you can actually use to convert your water into ice if you actually need ice. So next up, we've got something that seems to be a bit of a pointless pillar called the pot pillar, and all it does is it replaces the flower pot in a more elaborate way. So we've just got a flower pot, a dirt block, and a base pillar to actually craft this. Then you place it down, and all it does is it presents a flower in a very elaborate way. So I'm going to hold a flower in my hand and just right click on this pot pillar, and it just presents it to you on a massive pillar. I don't really see the point in this. I mean, you could just use a flower pot. It's just a lot smaller, much more confined and compact, and yeah, I don't see the point in this unless you wanted to make some really elaborate Greek garden with pillars everywhere showing off your flowers. It does work with all custom flowers, so you could use biomes of plenty flowers and it still present them, but I still don't see the point in this. It seems a bit elaborate just to show off a flower. But yeah, that's the pot pillar, and at first I thought it was going to be something to do with drugs, but it wasn't. It was just flowers. But yeah. So the next kind of pillar that this mod adds is actually really cool. What it is a trash pillar. So to actually craft a trash pillar, you're going to need 8 bits of stone and an ender pearl, and all it is basically just a bin for you to throw all of your junk items in. So normally you just make a lava pit in the ground and you throw all your items into that, but this is just a replacement for that. It looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing, and all you need to do to use it is just right click and it opens up. and then you just throw whatever items you want to dispose of into it. So I'm just going to throw the cobble in there, and the other cobble, and it just removes the items from the world. There we go, we've got rid of the cobble. It's just a bin, basically, and it's got like a void in there where all the items go. It looks like the void anyway, and sadly I can't fall into this. I'd like to go to the void just by jumping in my own bin. But yeah, that's the trash pillar. Very useful item. So, the last kind of pillar that this mod adds is called the Sentry Pillar, and it's by far one of the coolest. What it does is it basically protects you from evil mobs, well, aggressive mobs. So I've got some creepers here, so I'm just going to spawn down some creepers, and what we're going to do is just put some fire charges into this Sentry Pillar, and what it's going to do is automatically fire out the fire charges at any enemy mobs in the vicinity of the area. So you can see there it's firing at that creeper. It should go onto that creeper next. It's going to start shooting it, and of course because I'm not shooting the creepers aren't going to explode. They're just going to slowly die of fire damage as they get hit by all these fireballs. So yeah, okay, that one completely missed. Now it's set fire to the forest. Good job, Sentry Pillar. But yeah, it's just going to keep firing at the creeper until they're all dead, and it also works with all the other aggressive mobs like zombies and skeletons. It will just fire out the fire charges at them until it runs out. Yes, creeper, you're going to burn to death. You're going to burn to death. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Sentry Pillar. As far as I'm aware, it only works with fire charges because that's the only projectile ammo that you can get. Maybe it works with arrows, actually. Let's try arrows. Ready? Yeah, it does. It works with arrows as well. Okay. Ignore what I said. You can also use it with arrows. So if I spawn on a creeper now, it's going to fire out arrows, is it? Yep. And because arrows are faster to fire than fire charges, I suppose it fires these out more rapidly. So if I spawn down loads of creepers, is it going to fire them out much faster? Yes, it is. Oh, look at this. All this devastation because of this Sentry Pillar. I love this item. Really good if you're trying to defend your base or something. You can just have a few of these outside your entrance, and it will just fire at anyone that tries to come into your base. I also believe it does fire on multiplayer servers at enemy players. So if you have any other players trying to get into your base, this Sentry Pillar will attack them. Oh, whoops, I actually forgot to show you how you can actually craft this, so I better do that now. To actually craft a Sentry Pillar, you're just going to need a dispenser and a base pillar. So it's just a intelligent dispenser, I'd call this. And yeah, that's the Sentry Pillar. So that pretty much sums up everything in this mod. If you enjoy this mod, remember there is a download link in the description if you want to download it and try it out yourself. Also, please remember to leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you next mod showcase. Thank you for watching.